Welcome. My name is Todd with MoneyFit, and we're going to get right into this. How do you get a credit card with no credit history? We're going to go over 4 rules that you should follow before you even apply, and then we'll talk about very briefly some of the steps to get your credit card. Okay, so first of all, you want to start by building a savings account. What does a savings account have to do with building credit? Unfortunately, too many people jump right into credit without a savings account. In fact, approximately 60, 70, 80% of American households have no savings account to speak of and are living paycheck to paycheck. And so when a little bump in the road hits, they think that their credit card is their emergency savings. Never look at credit card as emergency savings. You will end up in debt for the rest of your life, never paying off your credit card. So rule number 1, build a savings account before you even apply. Get to the point where you could cover 1, 2, or even 3 months or more of your monthly expenses, your housing, food, clothing, transportation, cell phone, especially in the utilities, before you ever apply for a credit card. So that savings not only is for emergencies, but you should also be saving for short-term goals like traveling, like gift giving, like preparing to replace your vehicle or repair something around the house. Rule number 2, maintain regular income. If you don't have regular income, you should not be getting a credit card. It becomes too easy to turn to and use to supplement living expenses that if you didn't have the credit card, you would figure out a way to do without the most wants. But otherwise, if you're in between jobs or don't have regular income, sometimes we can start putting conveniences on credit cards rather than doing without. If you don't have income, you can't even pay a small balance. So make sure you have income. In fact, the 2009 Credit Card Act requires that anybody under 21 years of age actually has to prove they have independent means of paying. So, of course, if you're over 21, they're going to ask you, but they may not ask you to prove it. Rule number 3, live below your means. That doesn't mean go back to what our previous generations have told us. Live within your means. Living within your means is basically saying live paycheck to paycheck. Here are your means. Here's your living. As long as you're living right up there to your income, you're living within your means. That's paycheck to paycheck. It is a terrible way to live. Lots of stress and financial problems that it can lead to. That is not what is meant by the term. We should, to clarify, call it live below your means. That means create a spending plan, also called a budget, where you know that where your money is going every single month. There are multiple types of spending plans. You can even go to our website at MoneyFit Academy, moneyfit.org/academy, and you'll be able to find several to choose from. But it's not just always writing down income, writing down expenses, adding, subtracting. There's other ways you can look at it. But you need a plan, you need an organization, you need a system. Make sure you have a roadmap to your goals. Do you know what you want to do that's going to require money? What are the steps that you're going to have to take to get there? And then track your money for 30 days so you know where your money's going, and so you have a realistic view of what your monthly budget is. And rule number 4, try to go 3 months, 8 months, 6 months, ideally 12 months with no declined debit cards before you even think about applying for a credit card. If you are regularly getting declined on your credit card or debit cards, a credit card will be a terrible idea for you. It will lead to far more spending, consumer spending and consumption that you cannot afford to pay back. If you don't know how much money you have in your checking account, you're going to be terrible knowing how much you have used of your credit limit. So please, do yourself a favor. Don't even think about applying for a credit card until you have gone 6 or 12 months without getting a decline on your credit card. If you need to, use an app to track your expenses on your phone. Okay, now now that you're ready, get to this point where you've gone through all 4 of these rules, you're all set to go, let's do it. Places to start, real easy. Start with, if you can be an authorized user on a family member's credit card, it has no negative effect on them, no matter, even if you have terrible credit, it has no effect on them. They are the account owner. You are not a joint owner. You are an authorized user. You don't even have to see, you don't have to see the card. You don't have to use it. They can have it go to their address or home and shred it when they get it, and never even tell you about it. And it's going to start, you're going to start building some credit, because you kind of inherit a little of their good credit. It's not the same as having your own, but it's a great way to start. And ideally, you're supposed to be using it wisely if you can, but you're still getting credit. And if it starts to go south, their credit starts to go south, it typically doesn't make it to your credit report, but if it does, you just dispute it, because you're not responsible for it as an authorized user. You're not responsible for payments or that account. Number 2, then look at a retail card. This would be something like going to a clothing store that has their own credit card, or maybe a tire and brake shop that has their own credit. Save up money ahead of time. Go in, apply for the credit. If you can get approved, hopefully you will, especially if you've been an authorized user first. You get, quite often you get a discount, but don't go in just because you have are looking to build credit. Go in because you're going to buy something anyway from that store. Buy it, but in the case of clothing stores or department stores, don't even leave the store yet. Go around wherever the customer service desk is and say, I've just opened up an account and I'd like to pay it off. You pay it off either in cash, with a check, or if they allow you to pay it off with a debit card, pay it off so you can leave the store without a balance. And now you have activity on your account. And then once a month, do something very small, make one very small purchase, pay it all off immediately, and within 6 months, you'll be building very good credit. Okay, consider using Experian's free Boost product. This is a free service. You log on you create an account with Experian. They're going to ask you your name, your social security number, and where you live and so forth. And then they're going to ask you to provide information about your bank account, so that they can access it in view-only mode. They're not going to be able to take any money out or change anything. They just want to view it. And every month, you're going to, when you sign up, you're going to tell them, this account is my phone bill. This is my electric bill. This is my heating bill. You're going to tell them about some of your regular accounts, bills that you have to pay. And then every month when you pay those on time, you get, it's like credit. You're going to help build some of your credit, and you would actually get a boost right up front. If you have bad credit, but you've been making your payments to these other accounts on time, it can boost your score 15, 20, 25 points immediately. Unfortunately, the other 2 consumer reporting agencies, Equifax and TransUnion, at this moment have not developed or announced any plans to develop anything similar. After that, if you have to, consider a secured card. This is where you put money into a secured savings account at a bank or credit union. You can't touch that until you close the card that they give you in exchange. It's a credit card. You use it like a credit card. You can make a purchase. You don't have to pay the whole thing off, but I always recommend you do. But you don't have to make major purchases. You just put on your streaming media account bill payment every month. Put on your cell phone bill every month, and that's it. One purchase, and then pay it all off in full every month. There's your secured card. And then if you really are trying to rebuild your credit within a year, or build it in a year or less, and you have steady income, you can sign up. Some banks and credit unions have what are called credit builder loans. You apply for a loan, they give you a $500 or $1,000 loan, but they don't actually give you the money. They put the money in a secured savings account, and you have to make a monthly payment until it's all paid off. You can pay it off early if you want, but it's almost like a forced savings. They put your savings money or your loan money in your savings account, and then once you've paid it all off, then you have that money to spend however you want. Typically, it's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10%, maybe 12% interest, so it's pretty high. It's a lot higher than what you're earning on that savings. It's going to be almost nothing. But it's better than going to a corner loan place that's going to charge you 30, 40, 50% interest, and sometimes may not even help your credit. Or certainly payday loans do not report to your credit, to the credit bureau, so they don't help you build credit. Credit builder loans, studies have found that if you have never had credit, they can actually be a pretty good way to build credit. But if you have bad credit and you've made mistakes with credit, especially recently, credit builder loans typically will end up leading to worse credit in the future, because if you've had poor late payments or made late payments on your account recently, you will likely continue to make late payments unless you make some other major changes or commitments to change. So there you go. Those are your 4 rules, and then some of the steps to getting your first credit card. Please feel free to share your own experiences in our comments here in this section. If you have questions or if you'd like more information, we've got our webinars available, moneyfit.org/live. You're welcome to reach out to me through moneyfit.org. We're glad to help. As a nonprofit, that's our purpose. Thank you very much. Have yourself a great day.